What round they Rousey fine ass?
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner. I don't think so. You seem to have it all figured out when you're playing midget.
Damn it! 60 G's, baby!
Dust of Shakedown begins right now. Big up everybody, salute to everybody. What's going on? Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people, them salute to all of you. Big up for joining us tonight for another live show. It's another episode of Dust Up Shakedown, and joining me tonight is my brother Jordan, Triple B in the house, and Kick him in the head. Yow is in the house as well, man. Let me go around the table. How you doing, Jordan? How you doing, my bro? Hope you doing well,
bro? Yeah, man. We've already spoken today, mate. You know I'm good. You know what I mean? Rocking and rolling.
Let's go. What about Triple B? How you doing, champ?
I'm doing well. Good Spurs. Training is going well. Just hoping to get a fight. That's all.
Let's go. What about you, Yow? You've had an eventful week. How you doing, brother?
Oh, yeah, very eventful. Came off a good Easter weekend. Great night of fights this past weekend. Having a good week. Looking forward to next week. UFC 112 coming up. I'm very excited. So, yeah, all good here.
There's like I said, there's so much to talk about. There's so much that's building up. But there is one place that I do want to start. And it's with the champs. Let's just say his inspiration into the world of MMA. Yes, we're talking about Conor McGregor, people. If you didn't know, Triple B looks up to Conor McGregor as one of his inspirations coming into MMA, man. And we look at what Conor McGregor has been dealing with so far since this movie release. This guy has been the most tested fighter or the most tested athlete in the new. What's the name of the new people that's testing them now? The new USADA people, them. What they call them? Anybody know their name? I can't even remember.
I can't remember the name.
Let's call it the doping, the anti-doping.
Yeah, right. The doping agency. Yeah, thank you. We can call it that. Yeah. The doping agency people, them. And he's been tested 5 times. 5 times. You know, we're in April and he's already been tested 5 times. But the thing from that is obviously they saw how it was passing out in that Jake Gyllenhaal movie that he did, you know, the Roadhouse, and we spoke at length in some of the previous episodes that we did in terms of that. But because of the way he was in that interview, let me come to you first, Terrence. Do you think is that why they tested him so much? Is that why or is it down to maybe the history of what he's been like? Why do you think Conor is getting tested way more than all these other athletes in your eyes?
So to be honest, it could be his size after breaking his leg and just him being in the gym, getting big, obviously for his role as well. Being the villain, he had to build up a lot of muscle, and it's just him being out of the fight game for like almost 2 years now with the injury that he had, and him coming back also want to make a return. So they gotta test him now to see, like, is he on a clean path, or was he on a clean path this whole time, or did he use some other stuff to keep him in shape and keep him at that proper shape that he was in. So we never know. I'm just going with that. I'm just going with that for this.
Yeah. And you're right. It could have something to do. It could have something to do with that. But the way that I see Conor, and like I said, if you haven't seen that interview, people with him and Jay Gyllenhaal sat there talking about the movie Roadhouse, and Conor's body language and the way he was and the way he was talking and slurring, it's almost like thinking this doping agency is cocaine now part of the no banned list now. Like, yow. Like Conor came out and says, boy, he's ready to do the movie Cocaine Bear too. Wherever. Like, bro, Conor's crazy, man. Conor's wild. Talk to me, yow. Like, this man's talking about Cocaine Bear too. He's ready for it, man. Talk to us.
Look, one thing we know about Conor is that Conor is not only a great showman, but also someone who knows how to get the views and knows what to do to get the views.
Mm.
Let's take Paulo Costa, for example. What he did in his little feud with USADA is he said, look, you guys think I'm on the juice? Well, here's my secret juice. And that's where secret juice came from. So, yes, I did see Conor spazzing out. I have seen all that. He was already the most tested athlete on the planet when it was USADA. So to see him still being the most tested athlete, and by the way, the new agency is called the Drug Free Sports International agency, and they're the ones
that's pretty easy, isn't it? That's catchy for people to pick along to.
That's gonna take a while to memorize that one. I ain't memorizing that. I'm gonna take Terrence's advice here. I'm just gonna call them the doping agency, man. That's what I'm gonna call them. I ain't trying to call them their name, bro. Fuck that. I'm so used to USADA. It's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? But
so if you look at the fact that they're also doing the same thing, and let's call it over testing Conor, then we shouldn't be too surprised. Plus, like Terrence said, if you look at how much bulk he's had to put on from when he was fighting at lightweight to being basically a welterweight and a very chunky welterweight, probably just shy of a 205 pounder. So, I mean, yeah, I would also test him highly, especially now that he said he's ready to fight. But, you know, it's one of those things that comes with being a superstar like Conor is, you know, you get tested in such situations. And, yeah, let's hope he passes it all and we finally get to see him back in the octagon doing what he does best, which is kicking ass. But, I mean, let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely, man. The Conor is one fighter that, you know, for me, I've always said he's so good for the sport, at least when he's in the cage, because people are making money. Whoever is fighting is making money. So he's putting money in people's pockets. That's number one. The fans want to see him win or lose. That's number two. And number three, you know you're going to get an exciting build-up to the fight. You know what I mean? The build-up ain't going to be, it's not going to be boring. It always brings that excitement to a build-up. And that's the one thing you get with Conor. McDane, like, what's your whole take on this being banned, being tested so many times? Him coming out talking about cocaine beer and spazzing out in this, like, is that a reason to over-test him? Because that's what it looks like is happening.
He's been out for so long, mate. He's fluctuated in size so much. He was recovering from an injury where steroids were clearly a use of recovery. You know, and I'm not citing that a lot of people use steroids to recover from certain injuries. You know what I mean? But it's what needs to happen. I mean, coming back into the promotion, he's going to have these two fights. It's just a natural course, I think, that they have to take before he gets back in there. I mean, look at the size of him in that roadhouse, bro. Walking around like he's been carrying carpets under his armpits for the fucking last 2 weeks. I mean, he's just cutting about the movie like this for the entire thing. Like, it was fucking wild. But yeah, just natural course, mate, that I think they need to take, given he has been out for so long and he clearly did use whilst he was out there.
A serious thing, man. The thing with Conor for me, look, I'm starting to warm to his acting. I went back and worked that Roadhouse, man. I thought to myself, you know what? He didn't do too bad, you know. Maybe you know what I mean. I was watching it with a different lens when I first see it. I went back and looked at it and I thought, you know what? For his first movie, I thought he did all right. He didn't do too bad at all.
I think if he actually just acted like himself, he probably would have been a lot better than what he was trying to do.
I think he was being himself. I really,
Knox is on the job.
Yeah, oh, that's it. Yeah, I mean, so just the way he came across with some of his things, I was like, see if you actually just delivered that as Conor McGregor. Like, it would have been so better than trying to play this villain. Like, you could
when you
there's
watch him
acting
on top,
and then there's telling you acting. Like, it's
but
like,
when you watch him on top, like the way he carried himself, the way he came across, all of that kind of married into what he was doing here. You know what I mean? And
you just like seeing his cheeks in that opening scene.
Say that again.
I said you just like seeing his cheeks in that opening scene.
Oh, you fucking Ram! This is Ramadan. You cockroach. Fucking hell. You have to fucking come up with that, man. Jesus, I even fucking got him to say it again.
I know, yeah. Said it twice, bro.
Eh.
One for each cheek.
Dickhead. Dickhead.
Yeah.
Yo, moving on swiftly.
Yeah,
Um,
sweet. I'm glad I managed to do that.
let's come to Yao here. Holloway is requested the real BMF in his eyes. Somebody that's done so much for the sport. I don't know how you see Mark Coleman, but it's requested him that if he wins this BMF fight coming up with Justin Gaethje, it wants Mark Coleman to wrap the belt around him, just like Masvidal got The Rock to wrap the belt around him. I mean, what are you saying about his relationship with Mark Coleman, what Mark Coleman's done for the sport, the recognition that he's got, and wanting, somebody as prolific as Max Holloway that done a lot for the sport himself, the way he sees Mark Coleman and respect him enough to wrap the belt around him.
With what just recently happened in Mark Coleman's life and his story as a fighter and a survivor, having saved his family from a fire, almost dying, killing himself, almost sacrificing himself for the sake of his family, it definitely shows the heart of someone you would want to have wrap a belt like the BMF around you. It's the kind of character that you want as part of your story when you're ascending to something of the BMF, something as what I'm hoping will become as prestigious as the BMF in the UFC. So I think it's an amazing request from Max Holloway to request Mark Coleman, and hopefully he'll be healthy by the time UFC 300 comes out and he'll be out of hospital and everything, because I think that would be something that the MMA world really wants to see, because when the incident happened, I think last month, there was an outcry, a full outpouring from the MMA community of not condolences, of respect and admiration for what he'd managed to achieve in that situation. So I think that's amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing, look, I don't know who's going to win that fight. It's Justin Gaethje.
I'm just gonna throw this in here though. Max Holloway is sparring again, people. He is sparring, and Max Holloway hasn't sparred.
He's taking this seriously, man.
He is taking this shit seriously. And if Max Holloway's sparring, that is going to be a dangerous blessed motherfucker walking in there. I'll tell you that. And he's looking thick, boys. I don't know if you've seen him. Like, he is looking a bit thicker than he normally does.
I mean, he has to fill into that lightweight sort of. The frame has always been there, you know what I mean? The frame is there. He's just about bulking up, and now that he's got proper time where he doesn't have to waterload himself to the point where he nearly killed himself doing it, this time around is it's been done properly, and it looks like he's taking it seriously. What about you, Triple B? I mean, looking at somebody like Max Holloway, as good as he is facing Justin Gaethje. Obviously, he's requested Mark Coleman. We just heard what Mark Coleman did, saving his family from burning house, but also what he's done for the sport as well. What's your take on Max Holloway and the request he made, and even him bulking into a 155 frame to go and face Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, because first of all, shout out to Mark, man, for doing that. That shows truly that you're a good person, and you really love your family and you're willing to sacrifice yourself. That's I salute him for that. And he's a legend of the sport, man. He's an OG. He's been around the block for many years, and he's done his thing. And for Max requesting that, I feel like the UFC should give him that opportunity. So when he wins against Gaethje, Uncle Mark puts the belt around him. Why not? Let's make it happen. Uncle Dana, I don't know if you're watching, but come on, let's make it happen. And I've been watching Max's videos, like most of his videos that he was posting for this fight camp against Gaethje. Man looks in shape, man. His training conditioning is on point, nutrition is on point, his mindset, and one of his sayings that he says is gladiators don't walk with scales. Oh, that hit so hard. And I was like, yeah, that's the type of mentality you gotta have going into a fight against Gaethje. And just let them know that it's not about the scales. Nowadays we have scales, but back then when the gladiators fought, it wasn't about scales. It was till death. So I feel like Max can go there if they have to do the fight like that, him and Gaethje till death. I think for sure Max will take that one, because Max is It's a dog, guys. I promise you guys, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. I feel like Max is going to come up victorious. But yeah, like I said, him at lightweight it's a good fight for him and Gaethje. Money wise, as a fan, I wouldn't have wanted that fight to happen because I love both guys, man. I love them both, and I don't want to see them get damaged because both of them are going to get damaged out of this fight. They're not going to come out unscathed. They're going to come out busted up, and they're going to have to take off some time to recover. And but yeah, this is what fighters do, man. Fighters fight. They could have gone. Gaethje could have gone and take the fight with Islam. He could have gone and fought Ilya now, maybe later on in his year. But they said, "Fuck that shit. Let's fight. Let's make it happen. Let's put a BMF on the line and go scrap." So I'm excited for that one.
That one day is I mean 300. The closer he gets, I still maintain. I don't know what a lot of people are fucking moaning at when you look at that card, especially the prelims. The prelims is crazy. The prelim is dirty, fully stacked. That's a card I can't wait to sit down and chop it up with you guys and watch the fight.
10 more sleeps.
That would be fucking fantastic, man. But you mentioned something about Max earlier on, Jordan. I want you to make a case for Justin as well, because putting Poirier out in the way that he did it, that's crazy to do that to Poirier. Well, do you want to make a case for Justin Gaethje as well, stepping into this fight with Max Holloway now that we see what Max is doing in terms of sparring and taking it seriously?
Bro, Justin Gaethje is no fucking slouch. We all know that. Yeah, you know I mean, like, I don't even know if there's a case necessarily needed made for Justin Gaethje. Like, he is one of, if not the hardest hitter in that division. Like, you keep seeing the promotion clips of the Tony Ferguson fight going around from the Apex, and the sound of those punches, man. That's enough to, like, just hearing those strikes connect is enough to put the fear of God into a man. You know what I mean? Like, that was absolutely insane, and Ferguson's never been the same since. Like, yeah, like Terrence said, he could have waited for the Islam fight. Islam's been out injured, so he wants to stay active and he wants something challenging. He's also at that point of his career now where, same as Holloway, same as Poirier, same as all of those great ones that we've had from that generation, are now getting towards the end. And they're wanting to get the title shots, they're wanting the big fights, they're wanting the challenging fights. And Gaethje's the man that his leg kicks, his output, his pace, and his power, bro. Like, it's not an easy fight for Max Holloway at all. And like Terrence said as well, both of them are going to come away damaged. I was even concerned for Holloway to begin with. Like, when I first saw it, when this fight was first announced, I was like, oh shit, because we've seen what Holloway looked like coming away from that Dustin Poirier fight. Bro held his own, you know what I mean? Like, went out on his shield. Obviously, went all the way to the 5 rounds. But man, that was a war. And this one's going to be even heavier.
This is going to be crazy. And you're absolutely spot on. And the work that Gaethje does with leg kicks, you said is maybe the hardest puncher in the division, maybe on the roster, the hardest kicker as well. Everything that he throws with bad intention. And this guy is going to be looking to get Max Holloway out of there. Not many people, I don't think I've even seen it, like, finishing Max Holloway. Like, I've not really seen it. So
who was it? Was it Poirier when he cracked him and he kind of fell back against the fence and the face kind of kept him up? That was almost the one time that Max Holloway was knocked down.
I've not really seen it.
Man's never been knocked down, never been knocked out, never been nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone's will Gaethje be the one to do it? And it's like, we say this about everybody that Holloway goes against, bro. And nah,
something's definitely gonna have to give. That's a great matchup in my opinion. And what a touch. If Holloway was to pull it off to get somebody like Mark Coleman.
Shout out to Robbie Brown. What's happening, bro?
Big up Robbie Brown.
Wait, question. So does Mark Coleman wrap it around their waist irrespective of who wins? So if Gaethje wins, it's still Mark Coleman.
No. Holloway requested it. So I think Holloway gets the wrap. Maybe Gaethje wants his coach to wrap around him. We don't know. Like, he might want Trevor Whitman to do it. You know what I mean? He might prefer Dana to do it if he gets bonus from it. You know what I mean? If he's gonna get in that 50K, you know what I mean? It might be that. And look, one thing I know is this: we're gonna get medical suspension after this fight. After this fight, somebody's getting medical suspension, man. You know what I mean? It's 60 days, 45 days, 90 days. You know what I mean? We're gonna see which one it falls under. But this is definitely a fight that I'm looking forward to. 300 is crazy. We're gonna touch on some more of that. Quick segue, nice segue you made there. But when you were talking about Islam has just come out recently and says, straight after Ramadan, get back into camp. I want to be back in there in June, and I want Dustin Poirier. Poirier is the guy that he's looking at, and Poirier has accepted it. Poirier accepting this fight straight after. I mean, it's not even been. It's been barely a few weeks, since they fought BSD. Now we look at this fight now with Islam. They're both coming off of finishes, right? They finished their opponent is what I'm trying to say. Nobody finished them, but they're both coming off finishing their fights in spectacular, devastating manners, right? And now we got this title fight that's coming. Islam, obviously, we haven't really seen him do anything in the lightweight division. What are you making up of him? Saying, you know what, Justin Gaethje, you're next. I mean, Dustin Poirier, you're next.
Woo! Kick him there! Won by a head kick against someone who just lost by a head kick. So, I mean, for me, I'm excited. Look, I think that's the right call by Islam, simply because he's giving Dustin his dues. He's giving Dustin his final shot at the title. Dustin, if you can do it, we know you're a legend. You might have lost the BMF title to Justin Gaethje. You might have only won an interim title in the past, but we saw you knock out BSD. We know you are one of the most phenomenal fighters in the lightweight division right now. So let me give you your flowers by giving you a title shot. So for me, that is exciting. We know how Poirier strikes, but Islam's looking at Poirier and saying, I know how you are on your back. So this fight is mine. So I think it's a very, very nice gesture by Islam to say, give me Dustin, let me give him his last chance. And if he happens to do it, which I don't see it happening between the age. He's over 35. The over 35 curse does come into play. We just saw what happened to Alexander the Great Volkanovski. So for me, I'm very excited about this fight. I see Islam taking it. But yeah, it's going to be a cracker. Dustin might just surprise us.
McDane, how you feeling about this fight? Do you like Dustin's chances with his new wrinkles to his game? He pulls guard well. He goes after guillotine.
He can pull the gilly and wrap his belly all he wants, bro. But Islam's gonna just make him look silly. That's what's going to be happening in this one. Like, don't get me wrong. I thought Benoit Saint-Denis was going to take that fight, and we watched Benoit Saint-Denis ragdoll that man for a round and a half before Benoit decided, you know what, I'm going to stand and trade with you like a stupid fucking idiot. Especially when you're going against one of the best boxers in the lightweight division, maybe one of the best boxers we've got in the UFC. And he decided to stand and trade, holding his chin up high with Dustin Poirier, that when he catches you in that pocket with that hook, exactly like he did against Conor McGregor. Sorry, Terence, bro. You know what I mean? But your boy got smashed. Just throwing that one out there. Islam's not silly. He's not going to stand and trade with Dustin. And I've seen people go, oh, well, he might do. You know what I mean? He got that knockout with Volkanovski. You might think, yeah, let's give it big licks and let's stand there and actually trade with this man. He ain't going to do that. He's going to take him down to the ground. Even if if Dustin tries to pull the gilly, it's not going to end well.
No, it's not going to work well for him, man. It's not going to work well. We've been seeing this clip rolling around. Mighty Mouse, he does it again in a BJJ contest with a heavyweight. I don't know if you've seen it, Terence. He goes into this BJJ tournament with this heavyweight, and before he went in, it was like, Lord, please tell my wife I love her. Some shit like that. He didn't know whether it was coming out of this fight alive. Yo, did you see it? Did you see that clip running around
No,
with
I didn't see that clip. That one
Bro,
I didn't see.
how have you guys not seen this, man?
Like,
Jeez.
I haven't seen
this is big
Bro,
news.
this
It was even
brother
a
was
good episode.
247 pounds. 247 pounds going in there against DJ. You know what I mean? Like, woo.
And he's
Did he smash him though?
He submitted him. He submitted him, bro. He fucking won.
made him tap, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and that brother
Man.
said how tough Demetrius Johnson. He tried to ragdoll him, and my man said,
Bro, he got ragdolled. He got swung around rotten. Even like, he managed to sweep the dude too, and it was a lovely little sweep.
was
I
a
don't know
lovely sweep. Man.
how he pulled it off.
I don't know how he did it, man. I mean, his
I'm
body,
just
you could
up.
see him trying to grapple that brother. Like, DJ could only hold half of his fucking body.
Yeah.
at a time.
Leroy just pointed out there. Yes, mate. It was a bow and arrow choke.
Oh, but there you go. He submitted him, and
Oh,
to do that to a heavyweight, that's, you know, it's no slouch neither. You know what I mean? He's been doing BJJ a long time. That says a lot about Demetrius Johnson. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm surprised that you guys hadn't seen that clip. You know what?
I'm watching it right now.
And that's
I've been busy. I've been busy. I'll also check it out later.
Yeah, check out, please, when you get a second, please have a look at it. It was phenomenal. It was beautiful, the thing that it does. And sometimes, you know, we say there's weight class for a reason, but there are some special human beings out there that weight class means fuck all to them. You know what I mean? If they get you and they grab you and they know what they're doing, it could be over from there. From what you're seeing there, yeah. I mean, talk to me about what you just found out.
I'm not sure what submission he even put in. Like, I saw him, I saw the sweep. Like, his sweep was amazing. He was being ragdolled, but the amount of control he had, I guess it comes with being a smaller guy.
His speed was incredible.
Oh, but yeah, what submission move was that? Because he kind of just rolled over.
Bow and arrow choke. So he used his gi. So he wrapped his gi around and pulled that in. Bow and arrow choke the guy.
Ah, I see. Of course.
Oh,
the
was it
gi is
gi?
different. That's not
Was
made.
it
Yeah,
gi?
it was a gi. Yeah, mate. Honestly, you need to go and watch this. It was incredible.
When we done all of this, please go and watch it, man. It's just inspirational, and it's just.
But that's why he's the GOAT.
That's
why he's one of the
what I
GOATs.
mean?
Like, he has gone to so many different combat sports, and in all of them, he's excelled. So for me, that's why he's definitely like the GOAT.
Like, for me, he's always in top 3 conversation. Always in top 3 conversation. MMA, like everybody of all promotions is top 3, and Fedor's there as well. So look at some of the work that Demetrius Johnson has done over his career.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you wanna tell the boys about his April Fool's fight that was lined up?
Oh, the April Fool's wind up. I don't know. Do you have the rules? I can't remember the rules.
Yeah, let me just whip it up right now, bro. This almost
April
had Naz. Naz was like, "Holy shit, I can't believe it." Let me get it here. So it was breaking. Open weight mix. Demetrius Johnson versus Anatoly Malakin. It was round 1 was submission grappling, round 2 was Muay Thai, round 3 was MMA, round 4 was kickboxing, and then round 5 went to capoeira. you believed it all the way until you got to like round 5, and then you're like, yeah, that isn't real.
No. They're fucking with me now, man. But look, at this point, we all know Demetrius Johnson. He can do everything. He can do it all. He's really spectacular at what he does, and more people should just take a leaf out of his book, man. Like, this brother is elite. He's as elite as they come. I mean, what's your thoughts on Mighty Mouse himself, Black Panther, as a flyweight yourself? You know, you mess around with bantamweight as well. What's your overall thought on somebody like Mighty Mouse and the work that he's done in the sports?
Yo, to be honest with you guys, I was 16. Like I told you guys, story already. Like when I started out with MMA, like back then, in school, I used to watch a lot of MMA fights, and I came across DJ, and I was like, yo, this guy, short, stocky, and it's just ragdolling the guys. Even the submission against Ray Borg, throws him in the air into an armbar. I was like, OMG. This is the type of stuff I want to do one day when I get in that cage. But DJ's been a legend, man, and he is always going to be a legend. What he has done in the UFC, just the amount of title defenses he had, and just always putting up a show. He might not get the credit from the UFC in terms of Dana, the boss man said he wasn't that entertaining or didn't give him his flowers, but I have to give DJ his flowers, man. What he has done, just the type of guys he beaten, and just always going out there, doing his thing, and he can do it all. He can wrestle, he can strike, he can hit you on all angles. He's just fluent on the feet, and he's an OG for this. I would have loved to step in there with DJ one day, but he's not in the UFC anymore. So um, hopefully. Hopefully, we can do a jiu-jitsu, me and DJ, 2028. Once I made it in the UFC, once I become a UFC flyweight champion, and then I can call the shots. So shout out to DJ.
Nice, right. He is the goat. He is the goat, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, bantamweight goat.
He's the
through
goat.
and through.
It really is. It's just he's a special talent, man. And yeah, I like DJ a lot. Let's get on to this topic here. This one here it's a little bit closer to home, and I'm sure when a lot of the guys back home in Africa, in South Africa, were hearing about this, they were a little bit disappointed about it. This is about Duplessis, Dricos Duplessis versus Easy. We thought this bout, this card was going to come to the motherland. We thought they were going to bring it to Africa. We thought UFC Africa was going to finally happen. We all thought this, and all of a sudden, they're now talking about Australia. They're talking about Perth in Australia, and Easy is open to it. Yeah, let me come to you first. I mean, as somebody that was looking forward to this, lives in South Africa, South African. What have you made of this news here? Because this one here, it just came left field. You know what I mean? I saw Dricos posting about it the other day. But what's your overall thoughts on it?
Boo, UFC, boo, Dana White, boo. Honestly, I'm very unhappy. But realistically speaking, I didn't see how it was going to happen financially. Financially speaking, there isn't a destination here that would be able to give them the right sort of revenue. I mean, the current model that they have is that they're starting to go to cities, getting cities to bid almost like their Olympics for hosting UFC. So based on that, I just didn't see which city would be able to take up a UFC event right now. So I'm not surprised, but I'm terribly and bitterly disappointed that it's in Australia for many reasons. One, because Australia is far from SA. Two, I mean, I know we have this amazing rivalry with Down Under. The Kiwis would have the advantage, but it just doesn't really feel like the champion should be the one going that far to go and fight someone who's going to be then closer to home and have, let's call it, more of a home field advantage. So I knew it wasn't really going to come here as much as we hoped. Hopefully it will soon, but Australia, but yeah, let's see let's see. It's still in the pipeline for 305. We don't know if it's going to happen. It's not yet confirmed as far as I've seen, unless they have confirmed it. But yeah, let's see.
Big up the bro, Eric's gear. Salute to you, Richard Rag right there. He's in the house. Big up yourself, man. Thank you for pulling up, my bro. Thank you very much for showing love. People, go and follow Eric's Gear on Instagram. Go follow them on all your social media platforms. They definitely got the best gear going on in mixed martial arts, man. And
think MMA, think Eric's Gear, people.
Yeah, man. That's it. You know what I mean? Think MMA, think Eric's Gear, man. That's the line right there. Thank you very much for pulling up, Richard. We salute you. Jordan, I was gonna come to you. Like, this whole thing, we thought it was going to happen in Africa, right?
Mhm.
But still, does it take anything away from the fight for you? If it does happen at 305, and it looks like that's what they're targeting, does it take anything away from the fight for you not being in Africa? Or are we just looking at two fellas in the cage? They're going to fight for the belt, and the best man comes out on top. Or what's
Nah.
that? What's that mean for you?
I'm pretty gutted for South African fans. Yeah, I mean, it would have been one of the biggest cards that they could have ever put on in Africa. Yeah, they might not have many South African fighters within the UFC roster. They've only got a couple. Yeah, I mean, but they've got a handful of African fighters in there too. Could have had Temba Garimbo, and I mean, used to be in the EFC himself. Like, there's so much more they could have done with this, and actually put a card on in Africa, and it would have been insane, especially with the story that they've got behind it, the beef that was between Izzy. But I can understand why they're doing it. Like you say, financially or logistically, probably not the easiest thing to be putting together and get done. And then you also need to consider the business moves that they've already made with Australia, where they've signed up to holding X amount of UFC events with them over the next series of years. And it's something that they've got to do. Should Izzy be getting the chance? Probably not. He should have been getting another fight under his belt and then getting his title shot back again. You know what I mean? But here we are. This is the UFC these days. They don't really care about the matchups, and they're doing whatever the hell they want to do. But yeah, I'd rather have seen Sean Strickland versus DDP again, to be honest with you, before I seen DDP versus Izzy in Perth.
I mean, definitely mentioning Sean Strickland there, at least before Izzy even gets to go and see Dricos, I'd want to see that run back, because Sean just lost to Dricos anyways. And he lost to Sean. You two run that back, and let's see who gets a rematch. You know, Sean can get his rematch, his straight away rematch back if he beats Izzy again. And it will be definitely well worth it, because nobody's going to talk about, not like it was said that it was a fluke anyways. But a lot of people still came with the narrative that, oh yeah, 99 days out of 100, Izzy beat Strickland. He just had that one good day where he could put it on Izzy the way he did, right? But it would then shut everything down that wasn't a fluke, that Strickland really did have a strategy that can nullify the way Izzy fights. But on the other hand, if Izzy beats him, it's then an even better story. The man that I lost my title to, I just beat him on the way to go and claim my title to the guy that he lost it to, that's been talking shit back and forth.
I don't buy that narrative of 9 out of 10 times as he beats Strickland at all.
I'm just saying that's what people were saying.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, from that, what people are saying, I don't rock with that at all. Yeah, I mean, Strickland is too much of a pressure fighter. He's going to walk you down constantly, and it doesn't work with Adesanya's counter-striking style. He tries to stay at range, he tries to counter-strike. You're never going to get that when you've got somebody relentlessly in your face like Sean Strickland. But that is two fights that could get run back.
That's definitely one that I was thinking. All right, before Izzy could even go and get to see Dricos, I think he needs to earn the right back to go on, because it was on a one fight streak when he fought Strickland and lost the title. You got no grounds really for a rematch. You know what I mean? Without fighting somebody else first. That's what I've always said, and I stand on it. You know what I mean? I stand on that. Really and truly, he should be going to see at least one fight before he gets to go and play, to fight Dricos. But Terence, let me come to you, because obviously you're a fighter yourself, EFC flyweight challenger, and
yeah, you said it. You called me champion. You called me EFC flyweight champion.
Yes, EFC flyweight champion, EFC bantamweight interim champion. Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Bro,
you wanted to make this card. You wanted to make this card, right? If he came to Africa, you wanted the opportunity. It was something that I spoke to a lot of African fighters, right? And this was the one thing on their mind. Like, if this card came to Africa, came to South Africa, and they hosted it, it gives you guys the opportunity. It gives you guys the exposure that you're looking for. It gives you guys, you know, something to really look forward to. How does it feel now hearing that the fight could be happening in Australia and taking those opportunities away from you?
Joe, I am still a little bit backed about it, but you know, it's business at the end of the day. You know, UFC always the first thing they look at is business. You know, that's what Dana's there for. That's why Mick is there for, and Hunter and Sean Shelby. That's why they are the guys, and that's why the UFC is the best organization in the world, and that's why we want to be there one day. But if they would have come to Africa, man, that would have been so nice. That would have been like I gotta be on that card. No matter what I have to do, put me on undercard. You don't even have to pay me as long as I'm on a UFC card in Africa. That would have been dope for me because just having a UFC here and
Man said they
Graham
do it
coming
for
to us and
free.
telling, you know what I'm saying? Graham coming to us and Dana tell him, listen, give me some of your best fighters you have, calling out names, and we in the whole mix. That would have been exposure to most of the fighters in South Africa, man. And we good out here, bro. We good out here. We put in the work, you know. By the end of the day, we get there, we get in the cage and we beat each other up here in South Africa. But once we go overboard, I feel like we can take on anyone. We can take on the US guys, the Brazilians, you know, the Mexicans. We can compete with all of them. But going to Australia, I don't think it's going to be a biggie for Rodriguez. It's just going to be like another fight day for him because most of his fights is being overseas. So now he's just got a belt now. He's got 5 rounds now. Main event. He's the A side, so it's not going to be much of a change. They're going to treat him like a champion. They're going to treat him like a king the whole time. Yes, Australia's going to be an easy side, but it's fight business, man. It's going to be nice, and I'm looking forward to it. I pray it happens. But I would have loved it to be in Africa.
Yeah, man, that would have been a solid opportunity, not just for yourself, but a lot of fighters that fight that fight out of Africa, and a chance to really give those guys an exposure. And I hope during Dricos's reign as a champion, maybe even with the influence of Easy, maybe there is something that they can really bring on African soil, because it's something I was really, really looking forward to. But yeah, I was
Yes,
so
sir.
disappointed when I heard about it, man. I thought, Jesus Christ, I can't believe what's going on here. But look, Dana White has to keep making money. They just paid out a big class action in lawsuits, and that could have gone to part of their thinking. Like you said, it's purely financial, because paying out 355 million to a lot of people that sued them, they might have thought, yeah, we're gonna go Africa, but fuck that. We gotta we gotta make the money right now. We think about Africa next year or something like that, or maybe down the line. Who knows? So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. I just wanted to get your takes on that fight there. Um, Last week I saw the craziest finish I've seen in God. There was 2 of them. One with Cedric Dumas against Rusabov, claiming an eye poke, went down. That brother stuck it on him, got him out of there. Ref had to jump in, right? But I thought, you know what? That's not Cedric Dumas's fault, right? But there's another one with Bruno Silva in Chris Weidman's fight. First finger goes in, boop. It's like it rings it like a doorbell. You know, one of them ring doorbells. It rings it. Then the second one goes in, boop. It rings it like a doorbell again. Then it proceeded to hit the man in the equilibrium, drops the brother, and then gets the fight finished. Yo, I mean, when you're watching that, they came back and said, all right, that's not a knockout. We're not going to give it as a TKO now. We're going to make a decision. How is that a decision? In my eyes, that should have gone to a no contest. But I want to get your take on this. Like, what did you make of the whole? Because there were several eye pokes, and most of it coming from Weidman as well, and didn't get a hard warning. Bro, talk to me about that fight, man, please.
It was honestly a bit confusing because it wasn't the only fight that had the eye pokes, like you said. So the question is, what was happening this past weekend at the specific fight night in terms of the reffing? Because the Chris Weidman one was crazy. It was literally a double eye poke the one time, and it was so clear as day. And when you usually look and you have issues like that, they end up going, and you would at some point get someone looking at the screen and saying, listen, this happened. So for them to take it all the way to a decision almost makes no sense. I agree with you. Should have been a no contest, if not a point deduction, something. But also with the Cedric Dumas fight, that one was equally as crazy because he literally got poked in the eye, held his eye. Normally the ref would stop it, see what's happened, but the ref let it go and he got knocked out. And that one I took a bit personally because I had Dumas as my dog of the week. Like, I was excited to see him go for it. So, you know, especially when it comes to eye pokes, a lot of people are saying that the UFC has to do something about their gloves and MMA has to do something about the gloves that are used. And I would agree, because it's not nice to see fights go to that stopping by eye poke. Especially, I mean, if you look at Bilal Muhammad, you know, you've got quite a few fighters who've got these. I mean, Michael Bisping, these terrible eye poke stories. So the question I guess I would also then have is, what can the UFC do about the gloves or about eye pokes from a functional standpoint in terms of the gloves? Because I'm not really sure what they can do, but damn, these eye pokes, the eye pokes are pretty bad, and the decisions didn't make any sense from the reffing standpoint.
McDane, I mean, look, you're right as well, yeah, because Dumas was my fucking dog of the week as well, right? Or I mean, I did pick him as an underdog, and for that eye poke to happen the way he did was like, bro, what the hell's going on here? But McDane, what did you make of the wide man finish and the subsequent? Because we've seen fouls that leads to finishing, right? We've seen fouls anyways where you get hard warning or disqualification. We saw with Aljo, like, you don't then go back to where the thing where the foul stopped and then go back and count the rest and then give the winner to whoever committed the foul in the first place. Bro, none of it made sense. Can you make sense of it?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's one way to look at it. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, bro. Nah, right. So it's one of those, right? The fight went down the way it went down. It went down as a finish in the moment of time. I think the hindsight of it, the appeal of that's clearly gone in after it wasn't really a finish because of these circumstances, is what has made it get looked at and changed to a Weidman decision rather than going down as a finish. Weidman was winning that fight anyway. So I think what they're doing is looking back across the fight and then they're deciding, right, we'll give him it as a decision, because if it went the distance like it was going to up until that point, Weidman was winning it anyway. So I don't think you can really be mad. Right, yeah, they've changed the actual outcome of the fight, but I don't think it should have gone to a no contest. He was winning that. Did he do it on purpose? Who knows? Maybe it was just in the moment. Maybe he was, cheating a little bit. Maybe he did intentionally do it. And at the same time, the UFC know there's an issue with these eye pokes. It's something that happens every single week, and they are not willing to invest in a new set of gloves, and they're sticking, just like Yao was saying, they're sticking to what they've got. And it's like, come on, bro. Rich, if you're still there, bro, get fucking designing some Eric Scare gloves and let's get that motherfucker sorted out, mate. You know what I mean? I want to see some 4-ounce Eric Scare gloves that curl the fingers in so they can't get it.
Look, let me ask you, Terence, because you're engaging in these fights in the cage and there are extended fingers.
Yes, my man.
You probably, I don't know if you've experienced any of these crazy eye pokes that that goes on during the fights and stuff. But do you think the fight should be counted from where you start? Because Bruno Silva is a power puncher, right? And I believe if he stayed in the fight without the eye poke, even though he was losing the fight, he still, he was finding Weidman's chin. And at some point, I was thinking, if he carries on finding it, it might put him out. So, what do you agree with the whole turning TKO to unanimous decision and not disqualifying or making a no contest? What do you make of the situation?
I feel like for me, that one should have been a no contest. For me, like, that's my opinion. Like, man, that wasn't it the same ref that ref both fights, the short, stocky guy?
Yeah.
Gary Cole.
I was like, especially the Dumas fight, I was like, yo, the dude is literally showing the ref, listen, I got poked and he got dropped and he got his nose like shattered. I was like, come on, dog, going out like that and the ref not doing his job, man. I'm not splashing on the ref, but I'm just saying, come on. you in there for a reason. You know, you caused that. You could see the frustration on Silva's face, like literally trying to tell everyone like what I got poked in the eye, and I poked the eye, and I poked in the eye. Yeah, man, food is getting taken away. Now he goes on with one check, and he's got people to sort out. He got family to sort out, coaches, a lot of things, and going out like that. It doesn't sit well by me. I feel like there should have been a no contest. Even though Whiteman was winning the fight, and I was rooting for Silva to actually win that fight, because I was like, come on. He's not even turning up, and he started turning up in the third round a little bit, finding his chin. But yeah, it is what it is, eh? It is what it is. That's why MMA is such a. Connor says it's a bastard of a game, huh? A bastard of a game.
It's not often you hear the champ swear like.
Sorry for that, guys.
No, you're good, bro. Don't apologize to us, mate.
Swear away, man. Swear away. There's one other topic that I wanted to touch on with you guys before we wrap it up. And shout out to everybody that stayed there with us, that's been here with us. Big up to all of you. I see Eric's get active in the chat. Salute to you.
I actually just tried to have a look then to see who makes the karate combat gloves, but I can't see anything there. I'm not sure if it's an outside company, if it's something that they designed themselves, just from his last comment. But yeah, the UFC need new gloves, man.
This being said, I'm gonna stick with you here, Terrence. This being said, fighters going on a time off after losing, when they go on a hiatus, like Easy did, are looking for sympathy, and he is strongly against it. And as long as it's for injury reasons, he doesn't think fighters going on a break or on a hiatus after losing it's a good look. And he was kind of directing this at Brandon Moreno, because Brandon Moreno has just announced that he's going to be taking a step back from MMA after losing that fight. What do you think of what Bisping said there? Do you think he's right in saying that, or do you think he's a little bit too harsh to say they're looking for sympathy after losing and going on?
Oh, it's a tough one, because I've been there. It's not a nice one. Getting an L and stepping away from it and staying out too long kind of plays with your ego a little bit. So I'm different. So in that situation, I'll be pushing on whoever is the matchmaker's button the next day and tell him, line me up with someone else the next month, because I want to correct that mistake. For Moreno, it's a different situation, because I think he needs to step back. Because look at all the fights he had in the last 2 years. The 4 fights with Figgy, it wasn't easy fights. It was all tough fights, and it took a lot of damage. The Patosha fight also, and fighting against Royval also. So I feel like Moreno, being a champion that he was, taking time off a little bit, spending time with his family, and just rejuvenating himself and finding himself again. It's not a biggie. He should do that. He can do that. He's in a position where he can do that. He's well off. He's sorted. He's done what he said he's going to do in the MMA business or in the UFC. And for him to still stay active after that loss, I feel like it's going to be bummer, because they're going to give him some tough matchups. Mokaev is no joke. Because if they match him up with Mokaev, it's going to be. I feel like Mokaev can take him to that place and beat him. But same with Volk. Take some time off. Just don't think about fighting. Just enjoy yourself. Reel the body up, and just have family time. And just, if you feel like coming back, come back. I don't know why Bisping said that. I know I can't talk shit about Bisping. He's done. He's a legend. He did whatever he had to do. So yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. I thought it was a little bit harsh, and I brought up Easy, and I'm going to come to you, Jordan, on this one. I mentioned Easy as well because of how many times he defended his title, the amount of times he was fighting a year. He fought 3 times minimum a year for damn near five years straight. He just got busy. Moreno is another one that got busy. Volkanovski, very, very busy champion, taking on all challenges. from what Terence just mentioned there, do you think it was too harsh, or maybe he's got a point? Like I said, you gotta be tough. You gotta be a tough guy. This is his quote, quoting exactly what he said. You gotta be a tough guy after a win or after a loss. After he made that statement, what you say?
No man alive. Yeah, that's what Bisping would have said. You know what I mean? No man alive should be taking a day off of training. No man alive should be stopping having a fight. Like, nah, mate. You know what I mean? Like, fuck me. Like T said there, bro. How many fucking wars did Moreno just go through? Like, Izzy too. Like one of the most active champs we've had, like, for fucking ages, bro. Like, and I actually had this conversation with somebody else in a group chat and into yesterday where they were trying to slate Izzy, and I was like, bro, like, you cannot deny how active of a champ he was and how dominant he was within that division. There is nothing wrong with these people wanting to take that step back, taking a big loss where it was a heavy KO finish like Volk, like T outlined a second ago as well. Like, take that step back, recuperate, think about what's going on, reassess, go back to the drawing board, spend some time with the family and your friends. You know what I mean? Relax a little bit. Because Volk, again, he was another dominant champion within that division, having some hard fights against some big dudes. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I think it's needed. Like, I kind of get where Bisping's coming from. You know what I mean? You need to be tough and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, like, bro, you're just saying that for the mic? I don't know. Or is he genuinely thinking that? Like, it's a bit of a mad one, isn't it?
I mean, even Robert Whittaker, somebody I respect so highly in the sport, somebody you regard him as one of the toughest guys on the roster.
Are we going to talk about Robert Whittaker's fight before we walk away from this show tonight? Seeing as you're now dropping the Reaper's name,
I was gonna get to that. Even Robert Whittaker, that I respect a lot, he even took time off, after his loss, and just wanted to gather himself, gather his thoughts. What are you saying about this Bisping statement? Because I think, as somebody that regularly commentates on TV, you know what I mean, we should be hearing those kind of comments from him.
We all know Michael Bisping is a different type of commentator. He says things that a lot of people might not or should not be taking too seriously. So from that perspective, he can basically say what he wants. However, in terms of how accurate that is, I don't think that it denotes that people aren't as tough. I mean, you can take champions who have then retired early because they just kept winning. So he's quite right. Have the same mindset when you win and when you lose. But the fact is, if you're going year in and year out of this very, very difficult game, eventually you do need to take a break. You do need to step back, whether it's to reassess after a loss or just to let your mind rest from the consistent grind of training, camps, social media engagements, because it's not an easy world. So for me, it just makes sense to take a break, especially if you've been a dominant champion like an Izzy, like a Volk, as all of you have said. I think it's not just stepping away or taking a break per se. It's saying, okay, well, let me reassess. We always need to reassess. We always need to see what change would need to happen for us to always excel and move forward. So for me, it makes no sense, but it's Michael Bisping. So, okay.
Yeah, AFC, always big up yourself. The guy below, yeah, he don't just have chess. We call him Triple B for a reason, man. You know what I
mean? No man alive.
We call him Triple B for a reason, man. So yeah, that's the champ right there, the interim bantamweight champion and number one contender for the flyweight champion right there, man. You know what I mean? So,
go.
Man, big shout to AFC always and Terence Balelo. Let's talk about Hamzat. As you rightly said, Jordan, we stick with you. Obviously, this fight between these two is crazy, and I have different, because like I said, I showed how much respect I have for somebody like Robert Whittaker, which is one of the reasons why Dricos's path to the title was even more impressive, having to get somebody like Robert Whittaker out of there, because it's not something that you see very, very often. But seeing this fight he's got with Hamza, what's your take on it? How is it gonna go? Who's gonna win? Like,
we might need to take that Triple B nickname away from T and hand it over to the Reaper, bro. I swear to God, you know what I mean? Start calling him Big Balls Bobby over there, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Swear to God, mate. Yeah, unbelievable, man. Like, I can't wait. You even tried to stick a cheeky little bit of dough on that fight, bro, thinking I wouldn't be backing the Reaper as well. Nah, mate. Like, Rob will see that first round out. He'll get into the second. He'll get into the third. And if it's 5 rounds, which I think it's going to be, Hamzat's fucked in this fight, bro. Fucked. Like, that's my take. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait for that fight, man. Terrence, Hamza Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. This is a brilliant fight, and I don't know what you think, but how do you think this fight is going to go? It's a very, very well put together fight. What do you think?
It is a well put together fight. This is Hamzat's. I feel like for me, in the middleweight division, this is his coming out party. If he shows up, he's always in shape. But it's just this thing of he comes out too hard and sometimes just gets a little bit slowly in that third round a little bit. So if he does that against old Bobby, it's going to be a tough one because he's got experience. First of all, Whittaker has been a champion. He's been in the game for longer. He's fought 5 rounds already. He's been in those wars. Some say age is going to play a factor in this one, but at the end of the day, it's just who shows up on that night, man. And Saudi, the crowd is going to go crazy for Hamza. That pressure's on him as well. So he's got to really go out there and just be more calm in there, be more chilled in there against Bobby, and try and pace himself. Of course, if he comes out hard against Robbie and he can't finish him, I think he's going to go a different route. But it's a 50-50 for me at the moment. But I love to see them. I want to see the countdown first, the embeddeds, the face-off, and once they step in the cage and make that last face-off there in front of the ref, then I'll make my call. But I'll make my call on the weigh-ins. Who's going to take that one? It all depends who shows up fight night.
100%. Yeah, I mean, when you look at somebody like Robert Whittaker, we've seen the fights that he's been in, and I always go back to that Yoel Romero fight. If Bobby Knuckles is not intimidated by Yoel Romero, do you think he's shaking his boots against Hamza? What do you think of that matchup?
Your last statement is exactly what I think it is. Do we think he's shaking in his boots over Hamzat? No, but neither was he shaking in his boots over DDP, and we saw what happened there. So for me, I'm saying Hamzat all the way. Why? He's going in same reason I'm saying Islam over Poirier. They know the battle they're getting into. We know Bobby Knuckles is an amazing fighter, but on the ground, he's not as good as Hamzat is. Hamzat is a smaller fighter. He's not as big. He's not a natural middleweight. Yes, he cuts a lot of weight to get down to welterweight, but he's been fighting at welterweight. He's only recently come into middleweight to fight Kamaru Usman. Yes, he won, but he's fighting a seasoned middleweight. So I think he's going to take a similar sort of approach where he says, okay, look, I know who I'm fighting. I'm going to go toe-to-toe for a little bit of a round and then start to go for the takedowns, wear him down slowly, and eventually probably choke him out. I don't know. But I'm going Hamzat in this fight. It's going to be a good fight, though. If he decides to stand and bang like he did against Gilbert Burns, I agree with what Terrence said. Then it's a dark day for him. It's definitely going to go Bobby Knuckles' way. But I don't think he's going to be that silly. I think he really wants this. He's looking for something to take his career to the next level. And I think this fight against Bobby Knuckles might just be it.
100%. This fight is so intriguing, man. I for one, I can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? The other fight that I've always wanted to see Hamza involved in is him and Rachmanov, but it don't look like we're gonna get that fight anytime soon. So I'll settle for this one. This one is a very, very good fight. You know, where do I sign? Take my money. I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. Before we come out of here, Terrence, you've just had some news. You're in training. You're in camp. Um, what do you have in the pipeline for the people to look forward to? For people that don't know, Terrence, like I said earlier on, is the interim EFC bantamweight champion and number one contender for the flyweight title at EFC as well. So there's a lot of big fights coming up for you, but you also got something in the pipeline. What do you got for us? Tell the people.
Yeah, so obviously everyone knows the face-off happened in Zulu. That's the fight that has to happen. That has to happen, and that should happen at flyweight for sure. We got to scrap that one out, and but I don't know yet. No, Graham messaged me today. He's gonna come back to us. We're gonna have a little coffee, have a little meeting, speak with him, business-wise. What's the next move for us? Because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew Zulu's not gonna want to turn around against me in May. Because I told him in the cage, I want you to turn around in May, as soon as possible. And but what can we do, man? It's a fight buzzing in the day, you know. I think EFC 113 is in May. That already have a headliner or co-main event. Faiz is on there. My boy Faiz is on the card. Shout out to Faiz. Shout out to Troublemaker, man. This is a good fight for him. To submit himself as a number one contender in the bantamweight division, and I'm looking forward for that one as well. And putting some work in for his fight camp. And yeah, we've been speaking with some different organizations as well. Nothing confirmed, just a few matchups they gave us and stuff. But nothing is confirmed. Nothing is confirmed. I'm just struggling getting fights, guys. I don't like to stay out so long. So I want to stay active. I want to get myself out there. Like I told you guys from day one, it's never been for me about the record. It's always been about staying active, fighting the best guys. But I gotta look at things as a businessman as well. You know, I'm not just a fighter. Like I told you guys, I'm a businessman as well. So whichever how can I say, parties plays the best cards and negotiation wise with us, and let us see the vision towards the UFC, then we're gonna take that one for sure. But yeah. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm sorry. A lot of people has been asking me the question: when are you fighting? Who are you fighting? Which promotion? You know what I'm saying? And I can't give him a straight answer because no one has been speaking to me like in terms of the boss mans, and they haven't spoken with me yet. So yeah, so that's all I got for you guys now. But for sure,
can you drop it off stream? Who's been knocking at the door? Obviously, you don't want to say anything too public. I can understand that, but once we're done and dusted, bro, give us a lowdown. Like, I'm dying to know this shit.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Of course, bro, because you can't.
We'll get all that scoop when we come off here, man. When we come off here, you know what I mean, and we're not live no more. We'll talk. It's a little bit disappointing, but I'm gonna stick with you. I want to ask you one more follow-up question. Obviously, EFC 112 is coming up. It's round the corner, big card, title fights on there. What are the fights or the bouts that you're looking forward to on that EFC card? Obviously, it would have been nice if you was part of it, but you're gonna be watching as a fan and keep an eye on a few fights. What fights are you looking forward to?
First of all, my boy Luke is about to get it done. I respect JP. He's an OG, but my boy Luke is hungry, man. Dude has been putting in the work. Most of the people behind the scenes don't know that we've been putting some work with him as well. So whenever he's in Cape Town, he's part of our team. He's always welcome, and he's welcomed us to his gym as well. So shout out to Luke. And I'm super pumped for him. making that
Sounds
return
good.
and stamping the claim as the official middleweight champ. And I gotta go with Iggy Kabesh as well, man. Smiley,
Yeah.
come on. Guy
Mm.
should have been in UFC a long time ago. He's an OG. He's the best, probably the best EFC fighter, hands down. And he's done it all, man. And for him getting that second belt, it's gonna be crazy, man. That's the fight I'm looking forward to. And that featherweight Grand Prix looks also dope. It looks
Yeah.
exciting. Some good killers in that division as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Rooting for Ayanda the pound
yeah,
on
so
that
that's
one.
the fights I'm excited for.
Yeah.
It's a
On
good
the
card, with some young up and coming guys as well. On
yeah.
that card as well. So yeah, excited.
Um. What about you, Yao? This, I mean, we just had the disappointment of UFC Africa. It could be ending up in on the Australia, but you know what? You got some good cards coming up in the promotion that's homeland to you, just up the road from where you live. Yeah, bro, I'm fucking jealous of that shit. Like, boy, man said PI is just up the road. I can just look outside my door and I just walk to the PI. Like, fucking hell, you know what I mean? That shit's fucking crazy. But please talk to me. What are you thinking about this
So
card that's
some
coming
guys
up?
get
Like,
all
this
the
upcoming
luck,
card?
or
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Look, I feel the same about you and Arsenal, but this card, I'm really looking forward to this card. The EFC have been putting out banger card after banger card, and on this card, just like Terrence, I'm looking forward to seeing Luke, young gun Michael, back in the hex. It's been forever since we've seen him. Obviously, he had an injury, knee injury, that's kept him out for a very long time. We've spoken to him multiple times. He's actually training here in Johannesburg. So I met up with him last week after we had after we chatted with him on the Dust Up and Shakedown. I met with him that Friday.
Right.
So, and I should be meeting him again with him sometime this week. So I'm hoping it's going to be an amazing fight. And still Luke Michael. And of course, Smiley Cabeza, the legend, EFC featherweight legend, moving up to lightweight. I mean, his story, if he becomes double champion, and looking at what international MMA is and the lens on South African MMA, I see him going very far. I hope he sorts out the issues we know that he has, because obviously that's what's been keeping him here in SA. But I mean, it's going to be a fantastic fight night.
100%. Jordan, are you watching EFC 112? Are you going to be watching it?
oh, I'll be
I'm
tuning in.
excited for this card, and yeah, I'm going to be at work. A lot of the times when it happens, I'm always at work, but I get the chance to watch it. So I'm going to be watching. You're going to be watching it. What are you looking for?
Yeah, man. Yeah, mate. That Luke Michaels fight, can't absolutely wait to see him get back in there and see what he can do. I'm also looking forward to EFC 113, mate, for our boy Adrian Sanchez. See him get back in there. You know what I mean? Nice quick turnaround and going straight back into. So looking forward to that one. And as we know, Toomey might have something up his sleeve for that card too, but nothing been announced yet. So
yeah, and one day, you know, if the lines, everything aligns, maybe Toomey and Terrence can maybe dance one day for the gold. We'll see. You know, it's EFC. What are you guys doing, man? You know what I mean? Put this shit together.
Nah. What did you say, Ola?
Yo, I said maybe one day, if everything aligns, maybe one day you and Toomey maybe can dance for the gold at some point one day.
He'll get this fight on my terms. He'll get the fight on my terms. No, he's
Like
a
I
good
said,
lad, but
if
it's
everything
just
aligns,
yeah,
everything's got to align, right?
he's a good lad. He's a good lad, but on my terms. I gotta sort out some big things, I feel like if Zulu doesn't want to take the fight with me and he want to set out a little bit, I feel like the rightful fight to make is me, Mickey Kluter for the interim flyweight strap, hands down. I don't want to hear no other names. If Zulu doesn't want to fight now and he want to chill and enjoy the belt, make me and Mickey Kluter for the interim title. And after that, I'll fight Zulu, get that strap, and then I'll give Tumelo a shot. So him and Gift can scrap it out now. Them two have been talking, going back and forward, and being respectful to each other. That's a good matchup, a friendly matchup for them two.
That's what we're hearing. That's what we're hearing. And yeah, like you said, on your terms, everything has to align. If it aligns, maybe so you know what I mean. Something they can put together. I want to
But
see when it if it happens. Um,
can I say one more thing,
but
bro? Can I say one more thing,
yeah,
bro?
please.
The, I want to say on my terms, but on God's terms, no, on God's terms, because
God's time.
some of the stuff hasn't worked out as I planned it to work out. Because that's
Mm.
you know I set out all these plans for myself and these pathways. So I'll say I'll put it in God's hands. You know, I'll put it in God's hands. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry, man, keeping you
No,
guys here
man.
for so long.
No.
No,
You
no, you're
blessed,
good,
man.
bro.
You blessed. That's why we're here, man. You know what I mean? That's why we're here. You know, on God's terms, everything aligns. Who knows? We'll get that fight, and when it happens, I'm gonna be paying both of you to watch it. You know what I mean? Take my money whenever you're
Bro,
ready.
bro,
You know?
you keep pulling them slips and you're paying for us to go along as well, mate. That's
You know
what's
what I
happening.
mean?
Man,
I'll be
come to
paying you
SA
guys.
for
Man.
that fight, then. Come to South
That's what I'm
Africa for
saying.
that, man.
Like I said, you know what I mean? You already mentioned it earlier on, man. You're a businessman. You're not just a fighter, man. You know what I mean? You're also a businessman. It's all about
We
securing
we
that
can
fight.
start doing some body shots, T, rather than you and Shahid. See what you've got.
I wanna get my boy from the head kick also. I wanna get you also, brother.
You're going to get me at the
Kick
next
him
one.
in the
Don't worry.
head.
I'm going to work out just waiting for it. Like, I'm going to start working out
Yes,
now. So
sir.
when I see you next time, I'm ready.
For sure, for sure. Let's make it happen. You
Yeah.
guys heard it. It's on. Body shot challenge. Let's do it.
Body shot challenge,
I'm
We
man.
wanted fight news. We got fight news.
No, big up to everybody that stayed with us tonight, man. Salute to you. The champ
No one cares,
has
Leroy.
spoken. The champ has said is on God's terms, his terms. He's calling the shots. He's gonna make the moves, and when the time aligns, we might see something happens. But big up to you, big up to Yao, big up to Jordan. Salute to all of you. Big up to everybody that stayed with us. It's been another incredible show, and please, Yao, can you tell everybody where they can find you, what you got coming up? Plug your socials.
So you can find us at Kick Him in the Head podcast, Head Kick at Head Kick Pod on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, with their hashtag MMA Twitter. Big ups to everyone on there. What we have coming up right now is we're looking at the amateur space in MMA. We have the MMA Amateur Nationals coming up in South Africa, 18th to the 21st of April, and we're gonna be there. So we're looking at all the up and coming MMA practitioners, and helping them get a view of what MMA is from the professional space, and just looking at everyone that's coming up. So we're going to be at the MMA Championships in Durban, South Africa, and also one of our favorite fighters, Ntando the Zulu Warrior Zondi, has now just gone pro, and we're looking forward to him stepping into the octagon in the bantamweight division and seeing what he can also do. So we've got lots coming up. There's a few giveaways coming up for EFC 113 as well. So yeah, lots happening, lots coming up, and really looking forward to the next month and a half of MMA.
Okay. You've heard it there, people. Make sure you're following Head Kick Podcast. Kick them in the head. Make sure you're showing them some love. Terrence, what about you? Tell the people where they can find you, what you got coming up, and just plug your socials, my brother.
Yeah. You guys know the normal Black Panther 125 MMA on IG. Let's get the following up, man. Come on, let's show the boys some love. I want to get the following up. I don't know. I'm so eager about getting the following up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what like I told you guys. God's plan, but I want to stay active. I want to stay active, guys. I want to get back in there. It frustrates me so much if I don't have a fight lined up, and my coach is really doing a good job of keeping me in a proper line right now. Because sometimes if I don't get fights, I tend to go crazy and do other stuff. Not bad stuff, but I just tend to go into this mindset where I'm just like, nah, fuck it, man. Just what I'm saying. So I've been putting in the work, guys. Honestly, I've been putting in the work. I've made weight at EFC 111. No one have seen it. I've made weight for that fight.
Wow.
Obviously, both guys made weight. I showed up like I said I would. Yeah. So I was the backup fighter for that one, and and I've been in the camp after the whole thing happened. I've been straight back into camp till now. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Let's not cry over spilled milk. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's the spirit right there, man. That's the spirit. And people, make sure you're following the Black Panther on socials. You'll always find him on our page as well. You see us pushing his page. Please, 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 please. If you follow us, if you fuck with us, make sure you're showing Black Panther some love. Go follow his socials and help him get following up. McDane, I've been on your platform earlier on today. It's gonna come out at some point, but please talk to the people. Let them know where they can find you and where they can come and show you some love as well, my brother. What you got coming up?
Top man, thank you. So yeah, the Rambling Dad podcast on Spotify, the Rambling Dad MMA podcast on Instagram. You can also get me on Twitter at McDane MMA. That's McDain MMA. You can get me over there. We can chat some shit and shoot it all. You know what I mean? Especially on a fight week, on a fight night. You know what I mean? Prelim gang stand up.
Yes,
man.
sir.
And boom. And yeah, for what I've been doing, fucking non-stop this week. I've already done 5 interviews in the last 2 days. So it's been go, go, go. We have Octagon 56 coming up in Birmingham on April 20th. So I have interviewed Akon Wanless. I've interviewed Dennis Frimpong. I've also interviewed Brian Lacey, the promoter, the host, the man of many hats. As Ola said, I've interviewed him too. Who else have I interviewed? I interviewed Adrian Sanchez last night as well with his upcoming bout, EFC 113, May 9th. I believe that fight is taking place on, so don't be missing that one too. I have Modestus Bakaukas, thanks to my man Ola, coming on tomorrow. And I also have Zach Poega from the UFC tomorrow too. I've been trying to line up Aaron Abe, who's also on the Octagon card. I will have some picks and prediction videos coming out for this week's UFC card, next week's 300, and I'm also working on some other content. And to top it all off, me and my man Ola are going to be traveling to Birmingham to cover Octagon 56 with some media credentials. So stay tuned, people. Plenty in the bag.
Let's go.
That's breaking news right there. My man just dropped an exclusive right there. But yeah, we got our media credentials for Octagon MMA coming up in Birmingham this month. And salute to Jordan for putting that together as well. But yeah, we got the media credentials, and the Fight Week show is going to be there. Putting in some work, and also enjoying as a fan. So look.
One other thing, just before I go to, like, I literally, just before I came on this, got a message off Mom's Basement, who may have a plug for me to be able to get into the CFFC press conference this weekend on Saturday. They have four fighters on that. I don't know if I can squeeze it in, but I'm leaning to it. I've got so much shit going on. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, man. And people, look, if you mess with MMA, if MMA is your thing, if combat sport is your thing, I don't know why you're not checking out the Rambling Dad. Make sure you go and check him out. Make sure you go and check out his work. He's putting a lot of work. Busy guy, as you just heard. We're all putting work on the platforms. I appreciate the support that we've been getting from all of you. And if you're watching live, if you're watching on playback, please hit the like button. Make sure you're following all the guys on the screen right now, and salute to all of you. People, up onto the next video. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute.
Kick him in the head. Don't forget.
Kick him in the head.
Yeah, I was hurt, but it's nothing that I never felt before. I got good training partners. I got a good team. I told you guys, I'm the real deal in this division.